Have you ever felt like you're in the middle of a raging storm? Not a literal one with wind and rain, but a storm in your life. Maybe it's a storm of anxiety, a storm of financial trouble, a storm of relationship problems, or a storm of uncertainty about the future. You feel like your little boat is being tossed around, waves are crashing over the sides, and you're just moments away from sinking. It's terrifying, isn't it? You feel completely alone and powerless. Well, I want to share a story with you today that offers incredible hope for those exact moments. It's a true story about a real storm on a real sea, and it reveals a powerful truth about who we can turn to when the storms of life hit. Picture this. It's the end of a long day. Jesus has been teaching huge crowds of people by the beautiful Sea of Galilee. As evening falls, he turns to his closest friends, the disciples, and says, "Let's go over to the other side." It sounds simple enough, right? A quiet boat trip across the lake. So they get into their boat, push off from the shore, and begin to sail. The air is probably cool. The stars are beginning to appear, and there's a sense of peace after a busy day. But this is the Sea of Galilee, a lake famous for its sudden, violent storms. Nestled in a valley surrounded by hills, the winds can funnel down and whip the water into a frenzy in minutes. And that's exactly what happens. Out of nowhere, a furious squall comes down on the lake. The wind isn't just blowing, it's howling. The waves, which were gentle just moments before, are now monstrous, crashing violently against their small wooden boat. Water starts pouring in, fast. The disciples, many of them experienced fishermen who knew the sea like the back of their hands, are panicking. This isn't just a bad storm. This is a fight for their lives. They're bailing water, trying to control the sails, shouting over the roar of the wind. They are terrified. They are convinced they are going to drown. In their minds, this is the end. And where is Jesus in all this chaos? He's in the stern, the back of the boat, fast asleep on a cushion. Can you imagine this scene? Utter terror and chaos on one end of the boat, and perfect peace on the other. He's so soundly asleep that the howling wind, the crashing waves, and the panicked shouts of his friends don't even stir him. Finally, in their desperation, the disciples scramble to the back of the boat. They shake him awake, and their words are filled with fear and maybe even a little bit of accusation. "Teacher," they cry out, "don't you care if we drown?" It's a raw, honest question, isn't it? In our own storms, we often feel the same way. We cry out, "God, where are you? Don't you see what's happening? Don't you care?" Jesus opens his eyes. He doesn't panic. He doesn't grab a bucket to start bailing. He simply gets up, looks out at the raging storm, and speaks 3 powerful words. He rebukes the wind and says to the waves, "Peace, be still." And then the impossible happens. Instantly, the wind that was howling dies. The waves that were crashing become as smooth as glass. A great calm settles over the entire sea. The silence must have been deafening after the roar of the storm. Everything is completely still. Now, the disciples' fear doesn't just disappear, it changes. They were afraid of the storm, but now they are filled with a different kind of fear, a sense of awe and wonder. They turn to each other, whispering in amazement, "Who is this?" Even the wind and the waves obey him. They had seen him heal people. They had heard his incredible teaching, but this was different. This was a display of authority over the very forces of creation. This story isn't just a historical account of a miracle. It's a message for you and me today. The storms in our lives can feel just as overwhelming and life-threatening as that storm on the Sea of Galilee. We can feel like we're about to go under, but this story reminds us that Jesus is in the boat with us. Sometimes it might feel like he's sleeping, like he doesn't see or care about our struggle. But the disciples' cry for help was all it took to get his attention. He is not afraid of your storm. Your anxiety, your fear, your chaos, it doesn't intimidate him. He has the power to speak peace into the most turbulent situations. The same voice that stilled the raging sea can bring calm to your troubled heart. The key is to turn to him, to cry out to him, even with our fearful, doubting hearts, and trust that he is in control. So what's your storm today? Whatever it is, know that you are not alone in that boat. The one who has authority over the wind and the waves is with you. Turn to him, call on him, and trust him to speak peace. Be still over your situation. Thank you so much for watching. If this story encouraged you, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more content that brings hope and faith into everyday life. We'd love to have you as part of our community. God bless.